Welcome to our Sunday School lesson for May 3rd, Early Christians. This material comes from Feasting on the World and is copyrighted by Westminster John Knox Press. Hello and welcome to our kindergartners, first, second, and third graders to another virtual Sunday School. This is the fourth Sunday in our Easter journey. Though we can't meet in person, we are still a church family, and I hope you know that you can find support here with your church family if you need to. The very first Christians also met in homes as they started their new journey to celebrate God, just like we're doing now on Sundays with our virtual church services. The first Christians also shared food and helped one another, especially those that were in need, much like we are doing today. So let us hear today's story from Acts in the second chapter and explore how those early Christians started. As we continue our journey of Easter, we remember that today is the fourth Sunday of Easter, on our way to Pentecost. So we're back here visiting our Easter scene, and today we are going to add a butterfly to our scene. There he is, a very pretty butterfly. They're coming out. Maybe you've seen one already, or they'll be out soon. And we use butterflies in our scene because the caterpillars go into a chrysalis, much like Jesus went into the tomb when he died. And though the caterpillar inside the chrysalis is not actually dead, it does transform or metamorphize into an amazing creature, the butterfly, just like Jesus came back to life again. So we use the butterfly very often to signify new life. Who makes up your family? Are they the people that live in your house? Maybe there's also family members that live elsewhere, across town, in a different state, or maybe even in a different country. My family is made up of my husband and my two girls that live here in my house, but then my parents live in the next town over, and my sister just a few towns over. They're part of my family, and their family, their extended family, is part of my family as well. I also have family members in Germany and my husband's family in Poland, which is definitely part of my family now after our 15 years together. So who is part of your family? And then, of course, there's all of you out there, part of my church family that I need to count into my fold. So Lansdowne Presbyterian Church is definitely a family of its own. And even though we are apart and seeing us only virtually, we are still here for each other. Like I mentioned just a bit ago, the early Christians, the first Christians, gathered in homes, similar to the one in our scene here, and very similar to our gatherings on Sunday mornings these past few weeks. The first Christians gathered as a family to worship God, and they also spent time together sharing food and stories, much as we are doing now. So if you want to open your children's Bible to the book of Acts, the second chapter, starting in verse 42, you can read along with me. The first Christians spent their time learning from the apostles. Those were the followers of Jesus, if you remember. And they were like a family to each other. They also broke bread and prayed together. Everyone was amazed by the miracles and the wonders that the apostles had worked. All the Lord's followers often met together, and they shared everything they had. They would listen to each other. They would sell property and possessions to give money to whoever was in need. Day after day they met in the temple. They broke bread together in different homes and shared their food happily and freely while praising God. Everyone liked them, and each day the Lord added to their group. What do you think about those first Christians? Do you think it was hard for them to share everything they had with not just their family, but friends and neighbors? What do you think was hard for them to share? Think about things that you might share. Do you want to share a new toy that you just got? That's probably harder. Or maybe you do because you have a really good friend you want to share it with and can't wait to show them. What about food? We all need food every day. Can you share some of your food, some of the canned goods you have in your home with those in need? Of course, you want to ask mom and dad for permission first, but have a talk with them and see if there's some extra you can share with our food cupboard. Do you know anyone who acted like those early Christians? Would you like to meet them? What do you think about how they shared what they had and were open and shared God's love? What are some things you can share? Maybe not food, maybe it's time that you can share to help out those in your house, like your mom and dad. Maybe grandma lives with you and could use your time and help as well. Or maybe you have some talents. You could sing. Those of you that play an instrument could entertain your family. Or you could write a card and send it to a family member or a shut-in that needs some cheering up. In the email notice for our Sunday school lesson, there was an attachment of this butterfly image. You are welcome to draw your own butterfly on a piece of paper as well. And I'd love it if you decorate this butterfly with something you can share, and then share your final image with me here or through our Facebook page or via email. What can we do from home? We might be a little bit limited at this time, but we can talk to our parents about buying a few extra groceries for our local food cupboard. We can write a card to mail to a friend or a shut-in that could use some cheering up. Or we could donate a meal by having some takeout delivered to our local first responders. What kind of ideas can you come up with about sharing your time, talent, and money? Thank you for joining me again here in our virtual Sunday school. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson and can think about sharing your talents, time, and maybe some money this week as you go on through your life. Will you join me now as we sing, "This is My Commandment"?
This is my commandment, that you love one another, that your joy may be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another, that your joy may be full. That your joy may be full. That your joy may be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another, that your joy may be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another, that your joy may be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another, that your joy may be full. That your joy may be full. That your joy may be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another, that your joy may be full.